I'm Claire Spalding. This is my first vlog. Sorry, should I say vlog? A video blog. I've realised I'm a much better speaker than I am writer. That's a key. Understanding your strengths and your weaknesses. But I will talk about that in another vlog. I will talk about that in another vlog. In this week, I'm going to focus really about brand person. Sounds weird, doesn't it? Whilst we're on that, my brand person, Claire, is all about tea. Today, I'm doing green tea and rose. Oh my goodness, so good. If a brand was going to be me, a big part of me is tea. Anyone that knows me knows that I love it. I love it. I need it to function. Green tea is my tea of choice in the afternoon. Milk in the morning, no milk in the afternoon. My friend got me this, my goodness, such a nice tea. T2, green rose. Thanks, Em. Anyway, enough about my brand. You'll get to know me more. These videos are all about me just telling you from my perspective, from one person to another, from one business owner to another business owner, trying to make their way in this world and trying to be successful. I thought the best thing to do was give you a little bit more of an intro about me and a bit of why I'm here and what I'm doing, just so you can get to know who is this person that is giving you this advice and, you know, what's she all about. So tea aside, and my dog Aslan, who I've got no idea where he's gone, but he'll probably pop his head in later. I have over 12 years marketing experience in brand strategy. I was always about wanting to be behind the brand and what made it tick and why do you connect with the client. That was one thing I knew when I started. I started off an agency and I wasn't the client and I didn't know what was happening with the target market, so I wanted to go back to where the client was. And so for me, living where I was living and where I was living, which is close to where I am now, but in Perth in WA, West Australia, I wanted to be at a company that made all the decisions. And I made my way into the business world, the corporate world, you know, in retail and then also in food and interiors. And I was always doing the job and I was doing it the best I could and I was succeeding and I was making my way up the ladder. You know, I started out as a media assistant and then I did a marketing coordinator, marketing assistant. Then I went on to, you know, brand manager and then on to manager, marketing manager, in a couple of different roles. And every single time I felt working long hours, loving the challenge and dissecting it, but looking up at my boss, you know, at the end of the day and, you know, being ridden and living in that corporate world and looking at her and thinking, that's not what I want to be about. I don't want to be part of a big corporate and get lost and, you know, the rat race, as they call it. It's very political. For me, a big thing about me is that what you see is what you get. I love direct conversations, honest opinions, and knowing where you stand with people. And I don't know about you, and I'm sure you totally all agree. You're in a big corporate world and you just don't like where you sit. It doesn't feel real. You don't feel like you're being honest to yourself. A friend of mine always said this once to me. She said, being in the big world, corporate world, it doesn't fill your cup. And that was a really interesting thing, and I think it actually took a few years for me to realise it when I was in the world thinking, you're right, I'm not fulfilled in myself. And everybody has different elements of what fulfills them. For me, it was about making my own decisions and making a difference. And a difference, not, you know, saving the world, but a difference in my own life, a difference in what I was doing, feeling like I've achieved and helping others. And the biggest experience of mine in the corporate world was when I worked for a dairy and we were doing products, you know, yogurt, milk, etc. The closest I came to that in working in the corporate world is when I went and spoke to the farmers, the people that were making this milk, where it came from. I connected with their love. And when I connected with them, it made me more proud of what I was doing and it made me push further because I wanted to help them. And I was thinking, if this is what I want, I can do this elsewhere. I can help other people, small businesses, not just farmers, but people like yourself, people that have brought a business from passion to life and have taken that step off the corporate world. So that's sort of where I was at, and I left, and I then went to this event, trying to find what I wanted to do. I love interiors, I love travel, I love all these things. How do I make it a business? How do I make it, something that I can love every day, but I can also survive? It's a real world. We would all love to survive on nothing, but we have to in order to live. And how could I marry the two? Fill my cup, but also survive. And I went to this Women in Business, and it was really inspiring. There were 300 women in this room, and they were all talking about what they've done, whether they've launched beauty products, whether they're a stylist, photographer, whether they've created fabric, whether they've done children's brands, whether they're in strategy, whether they're in marketing, whether they're in a whole lot of things. Actually, not marketing or strategy, that was more me. It was more product people. So people that came from a creative space or a creative place, but they weren't sure how to market it. So I'm talking to these people, I said, I actually went because I loved interiors and I wanted to import interiors, and I went as that. And I was talking about my love for interiors and how I wanted to import these amazing rugs and all of this. And then I was thinking, these women are like, yeah, me too. But, not rugs, but yeah, I want to do my business. I love styling, but I don't know how to get myself out there. I know what I want to be, but I'm not connecting. And I've started my business. I've got my website. I've done my logo. I'm, building sales. I've got more Instagram followers. I've got Facebook. But I'm not connecting to my client, and I'm not coming through in a way that's cutting through all the other competitors. What do I do now? And I sort of left the meeting, left this really lovely night, and thought, do you know what? I know how. My experience in marketing and strategy is all about that. It's been bred in me throughout the last 12 years to think about business commercially. Think about, how do you connect to your target market? What do you do? How are you? How are you authentic? How are you going to make money? How are you going to be successful? All of these things I was already doing. And I thought, well, I don't want to be part of that corporate world. I'm not sure if I can make money selling rugs at the moment, but I do know that I can help small businesses build these really strong brand packs from all my experience, stripping it all back and making them a practical product. And that was like my aha moment for my business. I love working with people. I love helping them, really helping small businesses succeed. How can I do that? And it was a really amazing awakening for me because I became really charged. And the last few months I've been doing my videos and preparing the product to make it really robust for people like you that really need a foundation, need to connect with their target market, and need a personality. So that segues into what I'm talking about today. But what I think here, the most number one importance, there's a lot of importance. Don't get me wrong, but what I want to focus on, what I feel like if you do not have, you're never going to connect. And that is an authentic personality for your brand. Something that is going to make them remember, your target market remember you. Something that is purely yours and no one else. And I did talk about it in a couple of the videos before about how important it is to connect. But what really is important is having that whole personality as a brand. So I call it the brand person, because your brand, like yourself, needs to stand for something, whatever it may be, but it needs to stand for something authentic that you believe, and in turn your target market will believe in. It's so important that when people remember you, they remember the emotional connection, and that's the brand personality. And that will then lead to connection. But it is all about stripping it all back and trying to make it a 2D to a 3D. I always do this. But 2D is your product, your sales strategy, your marketing, your accounting. If you have a shop, if you have a service, if you have distributors, all of this is 2D. It's all on a piece of paper. But how do you make it a mound? How do you make it tangible that someone can remember and someone can connect with? That is really important. And it's not always, it's easy to say, but it's not always easy to do if you don't have the right tools. But what the thing is, what I'm all about is giving you those tools to make it robust. I'm a big believer that small businesses can access all the same resources. Look at the digital world that we're in, that big businesses can. You've got the access, but it's about somebody helping you and guiding you along and actually giving you the information that you need. Because there's a lot of amazing information out there, but there's also a lot of information that is not necessary for you. What I'm about is targeting what you need to build your brand personality, to make your brand a person. And what I think is important is really starting from the beginning. And you'll find there'll be bits of you in this because it's your child, it's your baby. And there are little moments with the aha moment that you would have had when you started the business idea. What was it that got you emotional about it? Tick back into that and work out what that was and what makes you love the brand. Because it's not just because it looks good. It has a lot more to do with it behind. I think a great example is think about your best friend. I'm thinking about mine right now. Why is it that you love them? It's probably not because she or he has really nice glasses and has a great set of fingernails, manicured hands, fingernails sounds a bit weird, great shoes and fantastic hair. They're not the reasons that you love them. The reasons that you love them is the emotion and the action behind it. The person that makes them 2D to 3D. Think about that. My best friends, there's loyalty, fun, frivolity, excitement, enthusiasm, trust. These are all really important things that make them who they are. And they in turn resonate with me. And that's sort of like your target market, which I'll talk about in another vlog. But what we're talking about here is thinking and just having a moment to think about what it is your brand wants to stand for and who you want to connect with. So what personality do you want it to have? That will then turn into your authentic messaging, your content, your visual look, your mood board. It will lead on. But the foundation, like any human, your brand needs to have an idea of who it is. He or she. I mean, my first question to you, is your brand a he or a she? Are they loud and proud or are they quiet and understated? Are they a go-getter? Are they loyal? Are they grounded? Are they movers and shakers? Are they innovation? Are they innovation? Are they innovative? Are they inspiring? What do they stand for? Just some funny things to think about, which sounds, I know it must sound a little strange, but just think about, just take a step back and think about it, because these things that I've just mentioned are reasons that we connect with brands that we do. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of what brands that we all know, or maybe some don't know, but why we relate to them. I'm going to talk about a couple of case studies now. Bear with me. Okay, my first one, and I'm going to use one that we all know, and this is a polarizing brand. This is a brand that I feel I'm a tribe member for, which you'll find out more in my brand pack development, but it's not everyone's. It's definitely polarizing, and I had a really robust conversation with a friend last night about it, and she was very much on the other side. Apple. Love or hate Apple, they do know their brand. They know who they're talking to. And they well and truly know their personality. I say they, I don't know, Apple I think is probably a male brand. It's a bit androgynous though, isn't it? It is technical but also accessible. Apple sets themselves apart in a way that the way they communicate. You think right back in the beginning, Apple never advertised when they had their product. It was all about word of mouth, association, a little bit like endorsements now, but they were doing it way back in the day. I think I even remember Sex and the City way back, one of my favourite TV series, and there was product placement. Product placement, subtle connection between what was on the movie or the TV show and the brand. And Apple was all over it. Very subtle placing. So you're already having that third person endorsement. You're like, ooh, well, Carrie loves Apple. I love Apple because I associate with her. Therefore, I associate with Apple. And Apple stands for what Carrie stands for. It sounds funny, but think about it. And think about next time you're watching a movie about product placement. I'm always spotting them, pointing them out. It's interesting. But way back then, they didn't advertise. They didn't force it. They started promoting by endorsing, which is sort of like what we're doing now when you have influencers and ambassadors. Brands associate with other people that would represent their business really well. So they started with that. They were very technical, but in an approachable way. Not aggressive, innovative, and also accessible. So what I love about Apple is that it's intuitive. I feel like it thinks the way I think. I don't see it as a technical product like I do my vacuum or my oven, or mind you, I do like my oven. Maybe my camera, things like that. It's more than that. It's not just a two-dimensional functional product. I have a love it to it. So it is a brand with depth, but it's also exciting. You've got iTunes, you've got all these other elements to bring the excitement in and to lift me to them. We're both at this point, and we're both together at that. And I think that's what it is. It's really tapping into what are my needs of the target market and how they can deliver on it. And how can they associate with me in the way that I'm proud and loud and on my vlog promoting Apple. Not because they've told me to, but because I, from my own person, believe in the product and what it offers. And the brand. The product isn't what I believe in, honestly. It's the technical side of it. I did say I believe in it, but it is the brand behind it. I want people to know that I'm using Apple. Look at I'm using Apple, or I'm not hiding it away. I'm loud and I'm proud because I relate to the product, the brand, I should say. I relate to the brand that's behind all of that makes it who it is and makes it 3D, from flat to round. It's very well thought out. It comes across natural because it should when it connects to the target market. But there are a whole lot of marketers back there at Apple who've been working on this for years, have been working tirelessly for a seamless relationship. But it isn't that hard, and it is all about getting key insights of what you want to stand for and standing by them. Okay. Now, the other one is a really exciting brand. If you're in Australia, you will know about it, I'm sure, if you're a woman especially. But the big thing that I like about this brand is so ballsy. It has got the strongest personality of any makeup brand that I know. It goes out there and it really owns it, and it's so memorable. I started following the creator separately and then started following the brand just by her promoting it, but just by the language. So it's the woman that started was Zoe Foster-Blake, and the product is Go-To. Go-To. It's your go-to for beauty and all your beauty care. It's practical, it's relatable, it's usable, it's affordable, but more importantly, it's fun and it's engaging. Let me just read you the packet. So this is called Pinky Nudie Lips, and it's a pink product that's got a really nice colour to it. And it's like tastes yum, it tastes like fruits of the forest. But what I really like is the language that she uses. It's accessible. With this pinky nudie tint and physical sun protection, the glossy blend of butters, oils, and ultra medical, all of the sort of technical stuff. And then it goes into, it will savor your lips, so use it. And fun things on the back. This is for everyone. It will soothe, protect, nourish, hydrate dry lips, protect them from the sun damage, and give them pretty pinky nudie finish. It will not wash the dishes. Do this, apply directly to lips as needed. It's fun, it's exciting, it gives you a laugh, and it makes you feel like not everything has to be so serious. Every packaging is different. They have facial scrubs, moisturizers, oils, that all work really, really well. but they're also well packaged, well thought out, consistent, and has a strong, fun, sassy personality. And I want to be friends with this. I want to be friends with GoTo. And I want to meet Zoe, because I feel like Zoe, the creator, has put a lot of herself in it. And that is a key point. Your brands, a lot of clients that I work for, their brands are brought to life by something in them. And a lot of my clients are their own target market. So think about that. If you're a product that you have developed for yourself, think about what elements perhaps easiest to relate to of yourself do you want to come out in your brand. Zoe Foster Blake is definitely a person that has done that. She's zoned in on her quirkiness, her strong personality, and she's brought it to life. And she hasn't apologized for it, and it's really fun. So look it up. So Apple and GoTo, two quite different case studies, but have a look at them. Have a look at their language. Have a look at how they want to be presented on their website, in their videos, in their product. Everything is consistent, and it makes them from this to this. Now that is something that I do talk about in week 2 of my brand pack building, making your brand from this to this. So all I'm saying now is just getting you thinking about it and actually writing some things down. But my brand pack helps put your tools together to build it like this, so it's nice. It's an onion that I've created. It's a beautiful onion that you build all the layers in, and it's really practical. And the most important thing, it's usable. You'll use it every day. You use it for decisions that you make. And that is the whole point of where I began as starting this business, to help people with small businesses be proud and cut through all the noise and present themselves in a way that they see themselves in a nice, consistent, professional and sellable way. So if you haven't already, check over onto my website and have a look at the brand packs and all the information about it. I also do vlogs once a week, so make sure you keep checking in. Like me, follow me. I'm on Instagram, my_brand story. I'm just going to constantly share stories, case studies, talk to some of my clients that have used it and how they use it, because I think that's important for you as well, to see how it's used in everyday terms. But ultimately, I'm here sitting in my study downstairs in my house, and I'm working from here, and with that in mind, knowing that that's exactly what you're doing. I want it to be relatable. I want you to feel like we're in the same room together and we're having a conversation and that we're helping each other. And that's ultimately what I love about this community, this online community, is that we can do that. You know, gone are the days where you're really competitive and private. Now let's share our knowledge and let's work together. And I think it's exciting, and I'm really happy. I don't know, this first video has been great. It's been really good, and I love what I'm doing finally. And I'm sure you're the same. But now, I want to help you. I love what I'm doing, and I want to help you be successful. So pop over to the website and keep following the vlogs. I'm Claire Spalding for My Brand Story. See you next time. Bye. I'm Claire Spalding for My Brand Story. I'm going to take this tea, I'm going to sip it, and I'm going to get back to work. I'll see you guys over on the website. Bye. It's a bit cold now, but still good.